the greatest loss of human life arrives. Starting verse 13, the sixth trumpet sounds. As if this wasn't bad enough, the pain. Now the four bound angels, allowed by God, lead a demonic army that numbers 200 million horsemen that destroys a third of all remaining humans. This event is not to be confused with the later human army announced by the seventh trumpet, led by demons in Revelation 16. That's a human army. The Armageddon army are people, and they are coming from the east, and probably there'll be Chinese and every other Eastern nation soldiers, and as well as all the people from the republics, the former Soviet republics. Everybody is going to come to that because the whole world converges on Armageddon. But these are 200 million demon horsemen. This demonic army destroys a third of all remaining humans. Why am I going through all this? Well, look at verse 20 of chapter 9, because I want to show you something. I'm in 1 Corinthians. Revelation chapter 9 and verse 20. But the rest of mankind who are not killed by these plagues, so that's the 42% of humans alive, who've already seen, the comets and the asteroids and the demons and all this stuff, did not repent of the works of their hands, that they should not worship demons and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and wood, which cannot see or walk. How nothing idols are. And did not repent of their murders, their pharmakeia, that's the Greek word, pharmakeia, drugs involved, the drugs that open the mind to, remember the mind is the portal between the physical and the spiritual world. And drugs free the mind from some of the restraint, and that's why it's always involved with worship of demons, drugs, sorceries, or their sexual immorality or their thefts. What I wrote is this. Sin is far more powerful than we realize. Despite all the horrors, all the cataclysms, people are still chained by their sins of rebellion that only Christ can release us from. Remember what it says in chapter 8 of John, verse 32 to 35, whom the Son will set free will be free indeed. You want to know the acid proof of salvation? You now can say no to sin. The grace of God that brings salvation, Titus 2 says, teaches us we can say no to sin. You know what one of the greatest thrills is? Being tempted and looking that temptation straight in the eye, and like Joseph saying, no, I will not sin against God. You feel the grace of God so much at that moment. But despite all that, people are still chained to their sins of rebellion because only Christ can release us from them. And John lists the five. Do you remember what days ago, last week, we talked about the Thyatirans, and I told you about sins against our body and all that stuff I was talking about? And it says, Jesus said, you know the depths of Satan. This is the depths of Satan. When a believer gets imprisoned by these horrible sins, they're experiencing the depths of Satan.